The Laneways of Brisbane, hang on, I've got it upside down. The Laneways of Brisbane City. And I'm going to be walking every one of them. Alright, this is Burnett Lane. I think everyone in Brisbane's been along Burnett Lane. On that side of the road there, that used to be the convict barracks back in the mid-19th century, early mid-19th century. Later on, further along in the 19th century, 4 cottages were built on Adelaide Street, and this laneway here was put through for access for those cottages. And it's a very busy laneway today. A lot of pedestrians, always a lot of car traffic as well. So there's an 1880s sketch of Brisbane taken from very high altitude, and on it you can see the Methodist church that this sign here is talking about. So this is Briggs Lane. I really couldn't find anything about this place. Couldn't find any of the history of it. I'm sure someone knows something about Briggs Lane, but I couldn't find anything. It's not a very big lane. It ends right here at a Christian Science reading room, whatever that means. Wow. So even though I know the laneways that I want to go and visit on this journey, I've got the map, but along the way there's little nooks and crannies like this one here. I tripped over. I don't know what this is. This is just a place between 2 buildings, but it's still very interesting. Wow. I'm gonna have a look around. This is off Turbot Street, and there's an old post here. I have no idea what this was originally for or how long it's been there. Hillsong. I think I'll stay on this side of the road. I'm at the southern end of Stevens Lane, and this building right here, well, before this building was built, there was an evangelical church there. It was built in 1851, but it didn't last too long as a church. In 1861, it became a telegraph office. So the old evangelical church was eventually pulled down to make way for this building here, the Land Administration Office building, and that was started around about 1899. And actually this laneway here, before it was called Stevens Lane, was called Telegraph Lane. And there's another old laneway in Brisbane that also had the name Telegraph Lane, which I'll get to later. But over this side of the laneway here is the old printing press, the very first printing press. I think it may have been. Anyway, really big printing press building. Can't get through there now because of the casino going up. There it is. Ooh, there's a plaque. And it's one of the little joys of walking around because you have time to find all the detail. Like, for example, up there on that wall, on that very old building, you can see a sign that's partly covered up, but you can see the word merchants. How old that is, I don't know. Just one of the little details you find in a city. Beatrice Lane was constructed in 1887, however I don't believe it had a name until 1989. So I don't know what people used to do if they had to deliver mail here. I'm on Mary Street here near the intersection with Albert Street, and right in front of me is the brand new, Brisbane's new underground. It's part of the cross-rail network thing. Right there used to be a place called Edison Lane. Well, this is what it looked like in the past, and this is what it looks like now. As you can see, the whole lane is well and truly gone, so that's one we've lost.
While looking in the mirror.
This here says it's the John Mills himself building, but I think the front of it is over there. That might even be archived books. I have to go around and have a look, but the building starts way over there and comes back, so it seems to be all one structure. At least now it's all joined. Something I've just noticed here, there's a couple more remnants of old posts in the ground. There's a wooden one there and a wooden one there. So I guess at some point there must have been a fence along here. Smells a bit here. There's another unknown laneway just off Elizabeth Street. The Myer Centre's just behind me, and you can see this old building here. I have no idea how old it is, but there's a lot of bricked up windows. It's one after the other. Only about 1.5 meters tall. And here there's signs of a doorway once. Wow. When I was doing some research for this video, I found out that a lot of the laneways, the old 19th century ones, never had names. It was only later on in the 20th century that most of them were given a name. Like, for example, Beatrice Lane was given that name in 1989, so I don't know if this actually has a name. So back onto Elizabeth Street. This is all looking very new. This is Ulster Lane, and it's called Ulster Lane because right there used to be the Ulster Hotel. Here's a picture of it. It was a beautiful old hotel, public bar, all that sort of thing, long gone now. But this is Ulster Lane. This has all been done up, which is really quite nice. The Rose Building, begun in 1885. I've stopped by the Pav bar down near the port office to have some lunch, and nobody's here yet, which is really good. The place is beautiful, it's nice and cool. And yes, I do have my beer. This is a 4 pints. So 4 pints, I'm not having 4 pints, just 4 pints. Called Telegraph Lane, just like Stevens Lane up near the new casino development. And it was 2 guys back on 28th of August 1888, E.G. Barton and C.F. White, who started their electricity generating plant here. In fact, the GPO, which is just over there, became the very first consumer of electricity in Australia due to the first electricity generating power plant right here on Edison Lane. And if I'm not mistaken, right here you can see some of the Brisbane tooth from Kangaroo Point. It's got that pink tinge to it. It's beautiful stone. And it becomes the foundations of this building here. And I'm just trying to figure out where that original electricity generating building was on this site here. And I've got a clue, because just over there is the cathedral, and in this old photograph you can see the building, the old electricity building, still being constructed, but in the background is the cathedral. And there it is there, so it must be just right behind me there, the building in the photograph. See, there it is there. So it must be just here somewhere. Now this is very convenient for me, because just across the road from Edison Lane is Eagle Lane. It's literally right there, so that's my next stop, Eagle Lane. From 1865, there were a lot of commercial buildings being put up along Eagle Street, which is just over there. And Eagle Lane, right here, was put through so that delivery vehicles could come up here and offload their stock and goods and what have you to the buildings which were just on this side here. So that's what Eagle Lane was, what I'm on right now. This was just for the ease of delivery to the buildings on Eagle Street. And it really does serve that same function today. In fact, this is probably the cleanest laneway I've been in so far. Well, nearly. So Gresham Lane is called Gresham Lane because there used to be the Gresham Hotel here. It was opened in 1890 and demolished in 1974 as a result of damage from the floods of that year. Also apparently part of the Battle of Brisbane in World War II between US and Australian soldiers was fought somewhere around about this area, and there was at least one death. The Queensland Masonic Lodge opened in 1930 at the top of Hutton Lane. Let's go have a look. I mean the lane, not the Masonic Lodge. So the Masonic Lodge was opened in December 1930. My grandfather was a Mason down in Sydney. And he was like some grand chapter. I don't know how they work it. He was always very mysterious about how the Mason thing worked. Grandma didn't know much either. But he used to show me all of the medals and swords and things that he had, and all the citations that he had for being a Mason for so many years. And yeah, he was very high ranking in the Masonic order for Australia. I don't know if you ever came here to this one. Beautiful building. It's raining here in Hutton Lane. There's no clouds though. I don't know where the water is coming from. Oh well. Now the next one that I need is, I think it's Ellie or Eli Lane, but it's right across the road. That's really one big pipe. I've just come to the end of Eli or Ellie Lane, whichever way you want to pronounce it. The lane running this way, going along here, is Griffin Lane. Same building on that side, no idea the date, but it looks late 19th century. Then if we turn right here, we come up to Faber Lane. I was trying to figure out what was inside this building that makes up so much of these three lanes, and it's really just parking in there. Big empty space. I've just walked on to Clark Lane. This was originally part of Eagle Street. Where I am right now, this joined up with Eagle Street. That was the case in the 1850s and 1860s. On the other side of the road, back in 1931, the building that used to stand there was something to do with Paramount Pictures, and they had a lot of old film there which caught fire, and the fire leapt over the lane here and was endangering St John's Church. Obviously the church is still there. It was no great damage done, but certainly this side here, Paramount, or some sort of Paramount distributors, and they had a whole lot of old film, very combustible, and up it went. Arch Lane. Right ahead of me here is a very old bit of wall from 1883. That's Brisbane Tooth once again from Kangaroo Point. 1883, and the brick wall right above it was built in 1885. Something to do with a gas company that was on or about that site just there. It's an exercise area, but it's a nice little touch here with the pipes with the valves on it, sort of referencing the old gas company that used to be here. Just walking along Dodge Street here. The building in front of me is part of All Hallows, but I can see some writing up above. I can make out the word station, but the rest of it may show up better on video. I just can't read it at the moment. Alright, made it to the top and now I'm heading back. This was a really good walk. I enjoyed this one, and it's one of the ones you can do really easily. You can go and see all of them or some of them. And what I found is that with these laneways, a lot of them are being given a new lease of life. There's cafes and restaurants and little interesting places tucked away that are really worth exploring. And because they're in the city, if you live in the Brisbane metro area, it's not too hard to get to them. And it's a really nice way to spend a day. Just exploring these places. You may find ones that I didn't see. And that's what I try to encourage people to do. It's just to get out and have a look and see what's in your local area, or go a little bit further afield. And, you know, if everyone else is turning right, turn left and see what you find that way. Look up occasionally, don't always look down at your phone. So thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you so wish. And I'll see you again soon.